A very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the Sunday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. It's the 3rd of September. We continue to see this rut-like pattern across the British Isles. Low pressure coming in from the Atlantic, and we continue to see a very changeable weather theme as we go through the first week of September. And I'm afraid as we look into the medium range, it doesn't look as if we're going to see any particular change in the pattern through really, I would say, at least mid-month. Low pressure will continue to push up towards the northwest of the British Isles, keeping things frequently cool, cloudy, wet and windy. But further south, with the influence of high pressure from the Azores, we will continue to see this kind of northwest split with better, drier and therefore warmer weather across the southeastern half of the British Isles. But today it's very much a west-east split. We've got rain in the west, but we've got drier and even brighter conditions across the east. Relatively warm air that's in place at the moment because we're pulling our air in from the south, but it's replacing what has been a fairly cool air mass in the last 24 hours. The temperature at Braemar yesterday morning reached 0.1 Celsius, which would have meant that the residents of the Braemar area would have probably had to scrape their car yesterday morning if they were out fairly early on. But that actually equaled the coolest temperature since July 1st. Altnahara reached the same value of 0.1. But even back in the middle of August, Catesbridge in County Down, a particularly well-known Northern Ireland cold spot, reached 0.5. And so we have had some fairly cool nights during the course of the summer overall. But like I say, there is very little change in the overall theme, the overall flavour of weather. Always that bit cooler, drier, cooler, wetter, and therefore windier across the northwest, drier and brighter across the southeastern half of the country. So as we skip through the loop here, you can see here that system kind of clears out, followed almost immediately by another frontal system. That then pushes south over the UK. Then in comes an area of low pressure, fairly deep, at sub 990 millibars. That is going to produce some fairly windy conditions through the middle half of the upcoming work week across the Northwest. I was going to say the Pacific Northwest, but certainly not Pacific. It is the Atlantic Northeast. But you can see that we continue to see this kind of theme going. We get a little bit of a brief reprieve. Drier conditions follows in, and then it's followed by another system as we go towards the end of the week and into the weekend. That very system, as it pushes east, by the way, is going to drag in some fairly cool air. We could be talking about the first snowfall over the highest mountains of the West Highlands, for example, Ben Nevis. We could be talking about some snow by next weekend. So we'll wait and see what happens here. But let's have a quick look at the GFS ensemble and have a look at the 5-day increments here, because this really does give us a better idea as to the general idea through the upcoming period here. So let's have a look at the 5-day increments here for the opening 5 days. You can see that it's firmly a north to south divide. You've got the low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and like I said, I've explained already the north-south split in conditions overall. The 6 to 10 day period shows more pronounced low pressure, unfortunately, over the British Isles, less in the way of high pressure influence. So this really takes us out to the middle portion of September. So it's not looking particularly great, is it? And even the 11 to 15 day period, we can see that, well, the model does indicate that high pressure will try and build in. So could we have a rather changeable first half September and then a better second half? Very much open the question at this moment in time. I wouldn't really want to hazard too much of a guess, given the fact that the summer forecast, in my opinion, has been pretty poor. I'm quite happy to admit that I didn't really get it right this year, unfortunately. Precipitation wise, the upcoming 7 days looks like this here. The excuse me, the 8 to 14 day period looks like this here. So it's still looking wetter than normal across the good chunk of the UK, I think, even towards the middle part of the month. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll be back some point during the early part of the upcoming week. Bye for now.